The proper mindset for test taking is important, but the proper mindset for your exam preparation in your studying is even more important. Many people talk about how you should be ready come test day. They talk about exam taking strategies and the different type of mindset tricks that you need to get into on your exam day, but no one talks about the mindset that's required when you're learning, when you're actually going through material week after week after week after week after week. Because in my opinion, taking an exam is easy. I can go and I can study for any exam, and in a matter of a few weeks or a few months, if I have the right materials in front of me, I can pass that exam. Taking the exam is no problem. Studying for the exam, that's the harder thing, because you have to understand an exam is just a moment in time, a few hours. Studying for an exam takes dozens, if not hundreds, of your hours of your time and a lot of your money, and also a lot of your mental bandwidth for weeks and months on end. So I want to give you the 4 mindset tips that I have for when you're studying for your certification exam or your exam in general. The first tip that I have here is that confidence comes from things that are familiar. The more that you practice and study, the better. When we talked about building out study plans, and if you're looking to figure out how long it's going to take you in order to study for and pass an exam, all of that is great. But one thing to keep in mind, those are just estimates. If you're able to add 5 or 10 or 15 more hours, the more you can study, really the better. And also the more material that you have to study, also the better. So not only the more time, but also the more material and different ways of studying that you have and different tricks, such as different books or different courses, different types of note-taking strategies, different types of review strategies, quizzes, people asking you things live. All of these different methods are going to come in handy when you're learning. The second tip I have is to simulate the real testing environment that you're going to be in. Make sure that if you're going to be in a quiet room when you're taking your test, that you're studying in a quiet room, that you've got your timer on for studying. So if you're studying 25 minutes at a time, use a timer. Make sure that you don't have your phone anywhere near you. I'm so guilty of this. I always have my phone next to me. But if I'm studying for an exam, I'll put my phone in another room. I'll put it on charge, close my bedroom door, leave it in my bedroom. Whatever it takes, that's what we have to do. And also make sure that you maintain full focus, and also make sure that you're maintaining your focus throughout all of your study sessions, hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month. Those are really going to help build your brain up for the real pressure that comes with the practice exam. And by simulating the real test environment, this is going to build our discipline up in our brain as a muscle. That way, come the time we actually start taking practice exams and then the real exam, we're fully prepared to sit there with our thoughts and to recall our knowledge. The third tip I have for you here is to ease anxiety by focusing on what's directly in your control. When you're able to understand you don't have control over every single factor and you can accept that, that's when you're going to get the most out of your studying and your exam prep. So you have to understand what is in control when it comes to test taking. Well, first off, you're in control of your environment. If you have a private place to study at, for example, a home area, anywhere in your home, if you have a private office, maybe if you have somewhere at work, if you can control your environment, you're already off to a great start. Additionally, you can control the way that you prepare. You can control the studying that you do. You can control the courses that you can buy. You control the practice exams you buy. You control the way that you study. So that's within your control. Additionally, things like getting good night's sleep, making sure that you're staying hydrated whenever you're studying and on the real test, making sure that you're staying calm, that you're allowing your body to just relax and just go down a little bit and focusing on your breathing. These are all great things that if you practice now, I can promise you, come test day, focusing on all these things from just hydration to your environment to the way that you prepare to understanding what's in control, what's in your control and what's not in your control is going to help you considerably. I can promise you that. The fourth and final tip here is to visualize success. I want you to go at least once a week and do some visualization after you're done studying. If you end your studies on Saturdays or you end them on Sundays, whenever your last day during the week is done studying, I want you to picture yourself and just sit there and think, close your eyes and think of the exam day. Think of what you're going to learn. Think of what you're going to be doing. Think of the pace that you're going to be going at. For example, if you have a 180 question exam and you only have 230 minutes, you got to go at a pace of about a minute and 20 seconds around that. So you want to start visualizing these things and thinking about these things, because that's what a lot of really, really high performers do, especially athletes. They'll practice, and they have the best of coaches. They got the best materials. They got the best resources, the best training, and then they leave it there. They understand that's their limit. That's all they have control over. And then they visualize. They see that success. They see that pressing that next button and submitting that exam and getting that passing notification that you passed your certification and you're on to the next part in your journey, your professional journey or your learning journey or education journey. That's going to be crucial. So these 4 tips that we talked about are going to prepare you to get in the right mental headspace in order for you to make the most out of your studying. And you can still apply many of these different tips to your actual exam taking. But in this video, we mainly covered the mindset for success from the exam preparation standpoint.